penchant/.com presentation. Welcome to Bash.
Welcome to BASHCast. This is Jock. Today we want to introduce you to CoD4 competitive gamers from Area 51 at area51gaming.com. We've got Adam, aka Uzi.
Hey Jock, what's up?
How you doing, man? And we've got Eric, aka Two Shoes. Eric, my friend.
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you very much for coming on. In the background, we also, I believe, have Relics, your manager out there.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Relics. Today, we just wanted to get up close and personal with Area 51, so let's get right to it. Adam, tell me a little bit about yourself, what sort of position do you play, etc.?
My name is Adam Uzi Wedikin. I am 19. Been playing for Area 51 for about half the season now. I just joined these guys over here. My role, along with Two Shoes, is basically SMG up close, and I like to proclaim myself a nerd-nader.
Absolutely. You've got a PhD in nading, by the way. We're going to talk about that in a few seconds. Let's get to the leader here himself. Eric, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm the in-game strat caller for Area 51. I've been playing with them for this entire CEVO-P season and before during the placement tourney. We came together at the end of the last CEVO Open season, and we've been together for a season straight, me and the three other guys on the team, and with a couple other rotating. Uzi is now our SMG and everything. I've been playing this game since it came out.
Tell me about the other starters. Run down the list for me.
Well, we have our guy from Minnesota. His name is Risk. He's our sniper. He's been playing with us for CEVO-PT, placement tourney, and CEVO-P. He's a very aggressive scope, but also at the same time, he's a very smart player. He's awesome. And then we have Pyro, who recently switched from an SMG role to an MG role, and lately is just learning the roles of the MG, which is a completely different play style. And he's also been with us from PT to placement. And then we have Luke, who comes from top teams such as Mob, the other 51, Loaded, and VVV. And he's our starting rifle.
Adam, you were telling me that you guys were nerd-naders. What that means, I guess, is that you like to throw set nades. Is that right?
Yeah, it's basically learning and with the new pro mod, which helps us learn the nades, but learning where people like to go, how to perfectly put a nade that drops, directly on somebody.
How much time do you spend actually trying to figure out what all these set nades are?
I don't exactly know. Two Shoes and I, if I'm still on late at night or something, it's not during our actual scrims or practice or anything like that. But if we're on late at night, he'll go, "Oh, you want to get in our server and throw a few nades, see what works," and we do that.
And Uzi's one of the only guys I've ever been on a team with that actually wants to find nades. I find myself sometimes look at the clock. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in the server with Uzi, and we're trying to find this beast set nade to kill this particular guy where we know this guy in the opposing team is going to play in the match. And, sometimes it benefits us, and then sometimes it's just a lot of wasted time.
How important is technique in throwing a nade? Like, this may sound really stupid, but I found that actually little subtle changes in the way you throw to make a very big difference in terms of how far the nade flies. I mean, can you just tell me very quickly, essentially, how you actually throw a set nade in terms of trying to get it as consistent as possible?
I try and keep the mouse in the same spot at all times. I don't like to come out of nowhere and put the mouse and throw it around places, but I like to keep it on like the same level. Even if you're running up as you're throwing it, I want to keep the mouse in the same steady spot. And you also got to take a little bit of physics into play. 45-degree angle trajectory is going to go the farthest. If you're throwing it high up in the air, of course, it's not going to go as far as other nades. So you got to be careful where you're throwing it. I've also been exploring strafe jump set nades. A little even more nerdy, and I don't want to get too far into that, but it's basically getting a nade a little bit farther than it should be going.
Basically, getting a nade is somewhere that the developers didn't actually plan to get naded so early. The timing on some of those strafe jump nades is absurd, just borderline game-changing if you can get them perfect, but they're hard to perfect.
But you guys don't just practice the set nades where you're at each other's spawn. Do you also try to figure out set nade positions within the map itself, not just at the spawn?
Yeah, Eric's got that more than me. I know I like to burn mine early because I got the ones that can go really far. Eric has more like on strike. I don't know if you want to go in behind cafe there.
That's what I do. I usually like to get in a corner of a place that I'm actually playing to defend. Like, for instance, if you guys are familiar with the palm tree outside a cafe on defense, if I sit in that little nook, I have a nade that goes to bottom A from that place. So I just toss that from there, and then I can continue watching cafe while I'll toss it. It's just kind of a good reinforcement where I get my other teammates to throw the spam nades. Because as an SMG, another thing that you have to keep in mind with set nades is when you throw a nade, that takes 3 seconds off your runtime. You have to jump, throw it, that's spam, you land. That's 3 seconds off your runtime. That gives your opponent 3 seconds to nade you. So I don't really like to mess up my timing. I like to get to my place first, then toss my nade, rather than Uzi, who just tosses his nade and then runs to his place. And it's just different play styles, and it works for both of us pretty well.
It really can get you killed a few times. I probably do more than Eric. I do a lot of nade dodging, where you got to look up in the sky looking for opposing players' nades. Because I'm falling behind my team because I threw a nade early. I got to catch up, and then a lot of times I will get naded. I'm very aggressive. I've noticed a lot of CEVO-P players are very aggressive with their nades, and I try to almost mimic that.
You're talking about CEVO. How are you doing in CEVO-P this year?
We're doing okay. We just started playing together. Like, I started playing. We're 7-9 at the moment, coming off 2 heartbreaking losses on strike, really close matches. And we're all just trying to get our teamwork together. We haven't played long enough together to know where each person's going to be at the exact time. We're just trying to work out the kinks for playoffs.
Who are the teams to beat, for example?
Yeah, the teams to beat in CEVO-P right now would be definitely Loaded, because they came off the big win against Pandemic. Pure is a very strong team. Pandemic is still a very strong team. They're so random sometimes. You can get a few rounds on them, and then they'll get 4 straight on you, and you're like, oh, you can't let them get ahead of you. Yeah, I also want to say VVV. We came off the loss against them. We thought we had a win there, and look what happened. We lost by 1 round. Those are the 4 teams right there: Loaded, VVV, Pure, and Pandemic. One
of the more infuriating things that I think when you're playing competitive COD, I found through the years, is that there's an endless sort of iteration of competitive mods. Certainly that's been the case with Pro Mod. You had Pro Mod DAM, Pro Mod Live V2, etc. Which one have you liked the best, and why?
I actually really enjoyed DAM Mod. I really was a good player in DAM Mod, and I felt that everything was so balanced in DAM Mod. When you have a scope and you're long range, it's going to kill you. When you have an SMG short range, it's going to kill you, This is we kind of play a little take on DAM Mod. I think it's the latest one is V2. We play the European one in CEVO-P, and they play the North American version in CEVO-O. I enjoy this mod. I think it's very balanced. The one qualm I do have against all the mods changing, probably the most annoying thing that I have noticed is not the gun change or anything, but it's simply the uniform change. It's simply the different uniform changes. On Crash, I was shooting the dark guys, and now I'm shooting the light guys, and then vice versa, and then it switches week by week. And I have it in my mind, because I'm an SMG, I'm such a reaction player, that I'm aiming for these light guys, and then all of a sudden I see a dark guy trying to kill me or whatever. And that's what trips me up a lot more, and that's what really bothers me more than the gun changing, because I know that they're not going to completely nerf my SMG. I know that's not going to be useless. It's always going to find some use in this game. It's just the different little teeny dynamics that nobody really thinks about, and that that I have qualms with. But other than that, I think I'm not a fan of changing mods all the time. I think we had a good one going in the beginning of the season. But then again, this is a good one, and I guess someone somewhere down the line felt they needed to change it, and they did.
You guys had a chance to watch the MW2 multiplayer vid. Do you think that the game will be as suitable for competition as COD4? And do you think it'll become popular with the pro players? Will it become even as popular as CS? Do you think?
Yes, the game will be good for competitive play. Just like Call of Duty 4, there's going to be a mod. People are worried about, they're just going for the graphics, the game developer, Activision. But with the proper mod, it will be a good competitive game, and I just hope that they have proper maps.
Hey, listen, guys, thank you very much. Two Shoes, Eric, and Uzi, Adam, thank you very much. Top-notch SMGers from Area 51 at area51gaming.com. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you, Mr. Jack.